The following is a Joel Michalec production. On November 13th, Felix Unger was asked to remove himself from his place of residence. That request came from his wife. She asked him to leave because he wouldn't listen to the Joel Michalec Show.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Joel Michalec Show, a very special edition. I am Joel Michalec, and in the passenger seat of the cruise
It's me.
is our lovely Sharen.
Yes.
So this is one of those times that we talked about where we were trying to test equipment, and here we are, we're testing a different piece of equipment because as the summer months come in, we start to go out, as it were.
Exactly.
And go to our little slice of heaven at the beach, and that's what we're doing. And so on this show, for this segment at least, we'll see how things go. You're coming with us on the travel down, which could be interesting.
Very, because
we know that
we have to
NASCAR,
pass through Dover.
yeah, Dover, Delaware, where
Yeah.
NASCAR apparently is having a weekend.
And so is the city.
Yeah, doing Dover days or something.
Dover days.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is going to be very interesting.
And we usually do not travel on this weekend. We usually purposely not travel when we know that Dover is doing this stuff. Dover does this big stuff like, well, I was going to say twice a year. We know NASCAR is there twice a year, but now they do Firefly, which is like a 4-day event. And we try not to travel on those weekends, but, you know, we got things to do.
Right?
We have to go. And so there it is. So anyway.
And it's something Miss Molly thoroughly enjoys.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
She loves these days.
She does. I'm sure that you're going to hear her because she's huffing and puffing. She's all excited because we're just starting the trek, so she hasn't calmed down yet. And this is how she gets every time we go. And we're not in the usual studio. We are in the van studio, as it were. So we are really...
Our mobile studio.
Yeah, the mobile studio. Mobile Studio 1.
Right.
So we're in close quarters.
Exactly.
And Molly is the closest of the three of us to the microphone, so...
So if you hear her huffing and puffing,
Exactly.
that's just her way of saying, hey.
Yeah, she'll eventually calm down and lay down. But anyway, to get the business of the show out of the way, this is the Joel Michalec Show. Thanks for joining us. The website is jmtalk.net. That's where you can go. You can subscribe to the show. Please do. You can also listen to the 24/7 stream and check out the blog and other things. And I always say this, but I have to work on that blog some more. So it's up to date.
Well, you're the blogger. You're the resident blogger.
I know.
I would do it, but I just mumble around words, and you're such a wordsmith.
Oh, stop it.
No, you really are. You really are. And I give credit where credit's due.
Well, we don't want my head to swell too much because I'm actually driving too. So this is an interesting new challenge all the way around with the show.
Yeah, right?
So anyway, also you can join us on Facebook at JM Talk, and I hope that you would, and share and like the show and tell your friends about us so we get more people listening and joining us on Facebook. We're also at Twitter at JM Talk Radio. I don't have my papers in front of me. This makes this so different because I don't have the papers in front of me.
Right?
I have no cheat sheets, folks. This is it.
Right? And if you don't know it by now,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that is the business of the show. Please subscribe and look us up and have a good time. So I guess one of the things that I wanted to talk about was, I don't know if you saw the story about the guy in Asia, I forget which country exactly, but apparently he came out of the Avengers Endgame movie and started just bloating spoilers.
No.
And he got his ass kicked in the street.
Oh my God, yeah.
by people waiting to get in.
Oh, I would have been one of them.
Yeah.
Raise my hand. Don't tell me.
Yeah,
because I want to see it.
Right, and this is one that we didn't see Captain Marvel yet, and that's fine. We can wait for that. I have been told by somebody who saw Endgame, and this isn't a spoiler. I was advised by him that we don't need to see Captain Marvel. It doesn't really piece in to Avengers Endgame. So it's not like if we don't see Captain Marvel first, no big deal.
Right.
And that's good because first of all, Captain Marvel got questionable reviews, and we missed it. It'll be out. That's cool. She's like a whole new entry to the thing anyway. But
I just can't get over the fact that Captain Marvel is a woman.
Well, Captain Marvel was not a woman in the comics, and here's some.
No, she really wasn't,
she was a guy.
Right, and that's why it kind of throws me a bit because I'm a Marvel-holic, and I really,
La Policia.
Yeah, I'm not keen on it being a woman.
Right, well, so let me go a step further with the Captain Marvel thing, because we talked about this the other night, and I want to share this with our listeners. What's interesting is now a movie I do want to see. I'm excited for when it comes out on digital because we don't like going to movies that much. We're going to go and we're going to see Endgame. That's one thing, but Shazam, I cannot wait to see Shazam.
Yeah, that does look good.
And it got like 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a website we kind of follow. But here's the thing. Shazam, actually, his real name is Captain Marvel. And there's a whole Marvel family associated with Shazam.
Right.
And, I guess there was some, I was reading about it, and there was, I guess, at first, in the 50s, I guess, or maybe the late 40s, there was some sort of mishap or argument, or whatever you want to call it, going on between the developer of the comic and the comic DC Comics, I guess.
Right.
And so the person who created it, I guess, sold all the rights to DC, threw their hands up, sold the rights to Captain Marvel to DC Comics. And then, from what I understand, in the mid-50s, see, my timeline's off and I don't have any cheat sheets. But then after that, you think all is hunky-dory. But then Marvel, of course, got into it with DC because, we have a Captain Marvel. And at some point, DC said, you know what, let's change the name. And it worked because it had a successful television show. It had some success. It had some success mixing it up with the Super Friends cartoons.
Right.
And now apparently doing something that DC doesn't normally do on the big screen, really having some success with Shazam on the big screen.
And that's good.
Yeah. But I thought it was interesting to notice we're talking about Captain Marvel.
Story actually, being a good thing.
Yeah. But that Shazam is actually the original Captain Marvel.
I bet you didn't know that.
So going back, well, he's not the original Captain Marvel. I mean, Marvel had their own Captain Marvel, and it was a guy. So going back to this guy who got his ass kicked in the street. So I'm talking to a friend at work, and he went to see Endgame, and he said that he was making a joke. I asked him if he heard about this guy in Asia, and he said he didn't hear that, and we kind of got a laugh out of it. Sorry if the guy in Asia is listening, but
no, they weren't laughing at you; they were laughing with you.
Right. and so George says, well, he says I was kind of doing the same thing. I came out of the theater and I was like, you want to hear? You want to hear? And I'm like, what are you trying to get your ass kicked out in the street? I said, I'm trying to tell you that people don't play, man. They don't want the spoilers.
No.
And LaShawn McCoy, Shady McCoy, who was a running back for my team, the Eagles, apparently having a conversation with his son on Twitter, just spewing spoilers to this movie on Twitter.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't know. And
text message him.
Right.
Not on Twitter.
I'm not a big fan of spoilers, And here's the thing. I mean, if you went on to, like, Wikipedia and looked up a movie on Wikipedia, you could read the entire plot line and put it together yourself. I don't even like to do that.
No. When I want to go to see a movie, I want to go to see a movie.
Right.
I don't want to know what happens before I go.
Absolutely.
Not even to see how they put it together, if it's better than what was in your mind. You know, that just doesn't make sense. I don't know. But anyway.
So we will, at some point, I understand the crowds are still very heavy at this point, but we will go and see it in the theater.
Is that a movie date?
That's a movie date.
Yay.
That's right.
That's awesome.
I was talking to my friend George at work, and he goes to the movies apparently a lot, takes his kid to the movies all the time.
Sure.
And I said, I remember we went, because we went on a double date to the movies. I don't remember for the life of me what we watched. I remember we weren't all that impressed with it. What did we go and watch?
Who were we on the double date with?
We were with Shannon and Shane.
Oh, we went to see...
The Wizard?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
See, I can't remember either.
Oh my. And it was something we all wanted to see.
Right. Oh, wait a minute. Glass.
That was it.
I couldn't think of that the other day, and I was so disappointed in that. But we already talked about that on another show. In fact, we had a show the next night, and I trashed it. So I'm not going to go through that again. But I only brought it up because I couldn't remember, and I said, George, I just don't remember what I saw.
And that's how much it impressed you.
Right, and that's how often we get to the movies.
Right? And we really don't get to the movies a lot.
No, we don't.
And as Joel stated, we were on a double date with two good friends of ours, and the time together with our friends was better than apparently the movie was for you.
Yeah, because I know you liked it.
I enjoyed the movie.
I know, I just didn't
I liked it a lot.
I enjoyed it, I just didn't like the end.
Yeah, I could see how you would not like the end. But you can't please everybody.
Right. I know. So, I'm trying to think again. It's very tough without all our cheat sheets and everything.
Yeah.
I did hear today, and I don't have the news. This is like brand new. This is like came across my desk. I don't even have the write up yet. But the person who informed me of this said that he will find out more information and let me know. But apparently, a guy, either a Japanese fella or a Chinese fella, has invented this device where you don't need cable TV anymore.
What?
Using the power of the internet. Now, obviously, there's devices out there that use the power of the internet, and then you can buy subscriptions to HBO and CBS and Stars, and the world is your oysters if you want to drop down $5, $6, or $10 a month. So I think, without knowing a full story, because we're going to work on it, but it's exciting to hear that somebody made a device that uses the power of the internet, but will connect you to everything, presumably where you don't have to pay for channels or pay for subscriptions. And so even without having the story, these kind of things are happening. Piracy gets all ramped up. People are using software packages and whatnot that are using the internet and going to these hack servers that show movies and live TV and things like that. This happens because of the cable companies. And of course, there's basically two. There's Comcast and there's Verizon.
Well, in our area, yeah.
But I think even like if you go out of the area, like let's say you get AT&T, I'm not counting the dish networks. I'm talking about the people that are laying cable in the ground.
Right.
AT&T or some of these other smaller regionals, they're actually renting their trunk lines from Verizon or Comcast to deliver their stuff to you. But here's the thing. These companies, no matter who and how many, monopolize everything, drive the price up because there's no regulation on it, and then they wonder why there's piracy. They wonder why people are inventing new ways to capture movies and live TV and whatever they can off the internet without having to pay for a subscription.
Exactly.
You know, don't you think, and maybe it's me, Sharon, maybe it's me, I have in my mind, I say, and because I do this in my business, if I charge less, I'll get more.
Yeah. I mean, that's the basis of any business. Well, if you're a smart business person. Let me rephrase that.
Well, I mean, there are businesses out there that charge a lot more.
Really?
Oh, okay. Maybe we'll, you know what, when we come back from break, we'll mention that.
Yeah.
But there are businesses that don't do that, and I guess they're doing well, so I can't speak for all of them. But when it comes to cable television, you know, and then they force you into packages, they don't let you curtail the packages to then curtail the price. Well, I'm sorry, I don't want all this. Why can't I just get this? Well, that's not how it works.
Exactly.
You and I have the whole movie channel package.
Yes.
And what do they tell us when we call up and say, you know what, we never watched this one?
Yeah, because if you want to drop any, say I wanted to drop all our movie channels but Cinemax, then you have to pay $50 some odd or more for this Cinemax HBO combo.
Yep.
So you're paying, you know, you're forced to pay for these packages that they have. You know, if you're an extreme sports person, they have a package for you. If you're, you know, a big news buff, they've got a package for you. And, you know, if you like to browse channels, you know, you're kind of SOL if you don't get the package for the things you like to browse.
And what you forgot to mention was when you call and say, hey, we only want Skinemax. And what we've got to say is we pay like what, $26 for the whole package.
Yeah.
And then they say, oh, you only want that wine? Okay, we'll drop everything else and now it's $50.
Yeah.
So that's
that's what I meant.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, exactly.
So then you turn around and you go, well, screw it. I'm paying less to have everything.
Exactly.
But I'll just keep everything and have nothing to watch ever. Because there's never, ever anything on.
That is so true.
That is true.
We have all these movie channels and nothing to watch.
That's right.
They never have anything good on to watch.
So, what we're going to do is we're actually starting to encounter the Dover traffic. So this sounds like a good time to pause for station identification. Remember when they used to say that on the Phillies games?
Right?
Back on the sports games, mostly Phillies, and they used to say it on the radio. And now we'll take a pause for station identification. We're going to take our break and come back on the road with Joel and Sharen on the Joel Michalec Show.
All right.
We'll be back after this.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Broadcasting from a crummy little studio in Baltimore, Maryland. This is Reality One Radio.
You see why we need your donations?
Welcome back to the show. It's the Joel Michalec Show in the Mobile One Studio. Or Mobile Studio One. I forget what I said.
Mobile Studio One.
So we were actually during the break, we were thinking, you know, Hopefully you don't hear too much of like the car noise.
Yeah.
Especially like the new tires, because they really grab the street. But anyway, just a reminder, folks, that Sunday of this weekend that this podcast will broadcast or be released, it's Cinco de Mayo. Remember, we are all Mexican on Cinco de Mayo, so happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
It's funny, like a month ago we were all Irish.
Yeah, right?
When do we all get to be Slovak for a day?
But you're a Slovak every day.
That's right. That's right. So, anyway, Joe Michalec Show, the website, jmtalk.net, Facebook at jmtalk, Twitter at jmtalkradio. Coming up in the third segment, obviously a new Wombat of the Week, a new Honor Thy Heroes segment, and that will probably, most likely, 99.999876539
Okay, that was a song.
percent is not going to happen in Mobile One.
Yeah.
So
Exactamundo.
there will be a definite sound difference in the different parts of the show. But anyway, welcome back to the show. We are, as we said, we're cruising down to our slice of heaven at the beach, and you know, last year we talked about the family of. A family of 5 and 4 died, right? Or was it a family of 6 and 5? I think it was...
No, it was a family... 4 died. It was a family of 5.
3 daughters, the father died. It was a car accident on Route 1.
Yeah.
And
tragedy.
Tragic. And we're starting to see, which is nice because you don't usually see it this quick, but today we have seen some of the result of legislation and whatnot to try to prevent cars
drifting into the opposite bound lane.
Yes. And in the problem areas, like right now where we're at, there's nothing. You could drift and go across. But I think at first they're trying to address the problem areas. And that area where that accident happened is an extremely high accident problem area on Route 1.
Exactly.
And so they put up guardrail. No, it was like guard cable.
Yeah. It's this cable type fencing that goes down the center of the... No. It's on both sides.
It's on both sides, yeah.
Yes, it's on each side of the median.
Right, so that way if you break through to one side, you have the other side. And if you break through the other side, I think Iron Man stops you.
Yes, right? If you break through both of them, then you're going way too fast.
Yeah, and we're going to call you Hawk Smash. But anyway, so it's nice to see some positive effects happening.
Right.
Rolling out from that.
And it's a shame that had to happen. And, you know, I don't know if you talked about this at the time. However, legislation was in the works. It had just been approved to have this barrier installed.
Yeah.
When this accident happened.
I don't think I talked about that.
But nonetheless,
we both just said butt at the same time.
we're that in sync. So yeah, a tragic event. You know.
And isn't that what they usually say? They usually say it takes something so bad
So
for these small changes to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And it shouldn't be. But of course, you know, the way people drive, and this week, in fact, I encountered twice in as many days being behind people that don't have license plates on their cars.
Yeah, what?
Did you have this problem too?
Yeah, how is that possible?
Oh my God, so it's not just me.
No.
It was driving me crazy. I'm like, seriously, people.
I don't understand how it's possible for someone to not have tags or license plates on their cars, but if ours is out of date we get pulled over.
Well, you know it.
In a heartbeat.
It makes you wonder where the police are
Exactly.
when you need them.
Exactly.
And I'm not down in the police. I mean, they have a tough job, you know. And so I'm not down in the police. I'm actually down in the ass clowns that do these kinds of things.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
and now we got all the stuff in the back starting to rattle and make noise. Man, it's that driver's fault up there that this is all happening. But so I just don't know. It's just another one of those things that make you go, why do people insist on being idiots?
Exactly.
It just makes the rest of us look bad. Did you happen to see the time when you started this?
No. I did not.
Let's make an assumption that it was like 35.
Okay.
So that would be 45, 55, so 54-ish?
Okay.
And then,
I'll go with that.
And then, of course, it'll just put the burden on yours truly during post-production. But I'll take that.
Right? You'll take that hit, right?
So anyway, Sharen, you had something that
I do.
you wanted to talk about.
And it's also very sad. On Tuesday, a second young recruit died at the Naval Boot Camp Training Center in Illinois. So, since February, 2 women have died at this naval training boot camp.
Well, they were both women.
They were both women.
Now, do they know what happened? Is it like a cause of death?
Well, the one that died last Tuesday, she suddenly collapsed after she was completing her final physical fitness assessment when she collapsed. And she was transported to the hospital in Chicago, and that's where she died.
Okay.
It just said that they didn't comment as to whether or not she had a pre-existing condition. But in February, a 20-year-old recruit died under similar circumstances.
That's crazy because, I mean, when you think about it, they could have been being, pushed. I mean, not physically, but mentally taxed and pushed into working harder,
and pushing themselves beyond their physical limits.
Right. So the first thing I was thinking of is, would this come out as it was some sort of military hazing? Especially now you're saying they were both women.
No, what they're saying is, though, that they are investigating their practices and how this particular boot camp maintains their physical fitness, regime.
So they're saying that they're going to look at their practices.
Right. They're going to they're going to investigate their...
The way they do things.
Yeah.
Now, see, to me, and maybe it's just me, that sounds to me like... they're putting it out there and they're trying to instantly make it sound okay. Sort of like... Think of that big water problem out in Hinckley, California years ago.
Oh, yeah.
We'll tell people that
it's okay.
That there's chromium in the water, but we're going to tell them that it's good for you. And then if nobody says anything after a certain amount of time, we'll beat the statute. And so this is kind of it sounds
has a
like
ring
that.
Of that to it, doesn't it?
It does. It says, hey, we're really sorry. We're going to look at our practices, and it's almost like if you have somebody there that's really pushing these people, and maybe there's somebody there that's doing this on purpose, like a drill instructor or something like that.
Right.
And I almost feel like you're hiding that with this other thing. But listen, we're on top of it, and we're going to investigate the way we do things so this doesn't happen again.
And change the necessary, problems that may arise from the investigation.
If I'm the family member of these soldiers, I'm not totally happy with that.
No.
With that report.
I wouldn't be either.
I'm sending. I can't think who it was in that movie. Tommy Lee Jones. I'm sending Tommy Lee Jones in there to find out what the hell happened.
Right.
Jeez. But and then because I have to wonder, was it a hazing? Which shouldn't be going on
at all
anywhere, let alone the United States military.
Right.
Because think of the people, think of the sacrifices that people take who serve.
Exactly.
Go through that extraneous boot camp situation to serve your country. Serve it for you, serve it for me. And if this turns out to be that's so deplorable.
Oh, I know.
That you would treat people who give up everything and risk the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, they risk their own lives.
Right. And to think that this could be hazing and that you allow that to happen. Or not that you allowed to happen, but, So
you don't do more to prevent it from happening.
Right. I would only hope that by saying that they're going to look at their practices, that maybe that's also gives them some breathing room with the compressor or whatever, lets them conduct and find out what really happened.
Exactly.
But I don't think we'll ever get the full story.
No, probably not. The government, being who they are, will cover it up one way or the other. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize this was happening, but we can't make anybody else be aware of what's happening.
Right. So what I'm finding interesting as we do this?
What?
Is the time of the trip, and it's not like the actual time of the trip.
No, but
the mental part of the trip is being eaten away.
Exactly.
Like a kid at Christmas eating candy under the tree. Chomp, 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 chomp. Oh, and by the way, speaking of kid eating candy, did you finish your junior?
No, not yet.
Because when you got out to go get my frozen pre-dinner, jelly, peanut butter jelly, Crustables, good. While you were in there, I had to stop Molly, who jumped up on the seat to see where you were, and I turned my back and I hear a noise, and she's over there chomping on your junior.
Oh, yum.
But I guess it's okay because it's coconut?
Yeah. And we give her coconut oil.
Yeah, we give her coconut oil, so I imagine that it should be okay.
Exactly.
So one of the things that we want to try to do this summer, which would be new, is besides inventing new ways of bringing the show to you, is we want to probably do some videos for the Facebook page and the YouTube channel, maybe some on-site stuff. Who knows what? Plus, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but we are working on something else that could be video, audio, addition to the show, and that's all I'm going to say.
Oh my God, I'm so over the moon and excited about this.
This
surprise.
Right, hopefully it comes to fruition. That's why I don't want to let too much of the cat out of the bag. So we're working on some things, and maybe this summer too, my YouTube series will launch.
Oh yeah.
And how stuff's done. I mean, it's only been in the works for freaking over a year now.
I know, right?
So hopefully that will all happen. So we got through Dover.
Yeah.
When we went to break last time, we were experiencing some traffic, and it turned out really to be somebody with a big travel trailer. It was just holding everybody up. So we got around that. We actually got through Dover, and now we're experiencing traffic. But you know what? I think, Sharen, maybe you remember remember, isn't there a light up here that always causes this problem?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bowers Beach, the road for Bowers Beach.
Right.
I thought when
Magnolia.
I thought when they finished that construction, it was going to take that away. Are you eating something more substantial than my frozen peanut butter and jelly that I'm eating? Thank you very much.
Notice how I shut them up, folks? Just give them some. All I'm eating are Munchos because I was not afforded the luxury of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Well, that's because when we get down the road here, Ben, I'm
I
going to
know,
afford
I'm
you a
just
bigger
playing.
luxury than peanut butter and jelly.
I'm playing.
I'm going to buy you a hamburger or a roast beef sandwich or something. Yeah. How about that?
That sounds yummy to me. Look at me talking with my mouth full. How ignorant am I?
So
On the radio.
Don't know what the time in here is, but it'll all work out in the end. We are going to get ready to sign off for this segment. When I come back, or when we all get back to the third segment, whatever that may be, we have a new Wombat of the Week. We have a new hero to honor Thy Heroes segment, hashtag Honor Thy Heroes. And by the way, the Wombat of the Week has a hashtag too. It's hashtag WOTW.
All right.
So remember, the website is jmtalk.net, Facebook at jmtalk, Twitter at jmtalkradio, and from mobile. What the hell did I call this thing? The Mobile One Studio.
Right.
Mobile One Studio.
Mobile One.
Look, it wasn't even a traffic light. Look at this ass
Oh my
clown.
God. That's a massive tractor.
Who changes the tire on those tractors? Look at that thing. The tire's taller than I am.
Right?
Wow. All right, so we'll see you after the break. We'll see you after the break, folks. We'll be right back.
This is New York's super oldie station, 920 WON, The Apple, Brooklyn, New York.
So I use my computer every day. I'm not even sure how I get along without it. But I wasn't prepared for a virus. A Trojan, they called it. One night I'm cruising along, and the next night I can't do anything. I was afraid it was going to cost me a fortune. Boy, was I surprised. They had me back up and running the same day I called them. I really like PC Tech Rescue, and you know what? My wallet likes them too.
Are you troubled by computer problems? PC Tech Rescue should be your very next call. Whether the problem is viruses, hardware, software, or any other issue, they can diagnose your problem and have you back up and running fast. With more than 25 years of industry experience, you can be sure you are getting dependable and affordable service. Call today, 484-429-6061, or email us at pctechrescue@gmail.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Joel Michalec Show. I'm Joel Michalec, and I am now, after the first two-thirds of the show, we were in the Mobile One studio. We're now in the Beach One studio, or I'm in the Beach One studio, as the lovely Sharen is cooking a delicious meal out in the other part of the house. So, thanks for sticking with us and dealing with the noise level from the mobile part of the show. But we enjoyed doing it that way. And a big shout out to our producer, Mr. Tony Richards, who does a fine job of using wizardry and special magical tactics to work on minimizing some of that additional noises that the Mobile One studio had picked up. So again, the website jmtalk.net. Happy to have you come by there and check out the show. You can download the shows from there. You can listen to the 24/7 stream, and most importantly, you can subscribe to the podcast and never miss an episode. So you can do it all from there. You can also join us at Facebook at JM Talk and on Twitter at JM Talk Radio. So there are the various ways that you can get a hold of us. And Yes, so this is what we call the home stretch, and it looks like Molly wanted to come into the studio. Hi, Molly. So now Molly's in the Beach One studio. I'm going to poke her in the nose. Boop, there's a poke in the nose for Molly. So this is the home stretch. We have a new Wombat of the Week, a really good one for you. We have, we're going to honor a new hero and honor thy heroes. But first, I wanted to talk to you about this really neat thing that crossed our desks a couple weeks ago, and it was just a matter of timing to get it onto the show. And this is about a high school in Newark, New Jersey. Now, in Delaware, they say Newark, and what I'm wondering is in New Jersey, is it Newark? I mean, is there a colloquial way to say things depending on where the city is? But I'm going to say Newark because that's how we say it in Delaware. Newark, New Jersey. An interesting thing that a high school does. A high school principal has been changing the culture for the better at his school by providing practical programs and services that students can use. Principal Akbar Cook, who works at West Side High School in Newark, New Jersey, has opened the doors to the school from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday nights in a program called Lights On, and provides a safe place for students to hang out. And that is really, really cool. It gives the students gym access and a place to dance and be fed warm meals. So it makes a huge difference in what kids could be doing otherwise, right? I mean, think about this for a second. Instead of being out on the streets, getting in trouble, being influenced by the wrong people, and especially in a city like Newark, New Jersey, which has obviously a lot of issues. I mean, when you hear when you hear of Newark, New Jersey, I think that you have some sort of notion already in your mind as to what kind of place that is. And so I think this is really cool what they're doing. Cook had told WABC TV in New York that I haven't lost any more kids to gun violence since the start of the school year. So the school will also be open 3 nights a week during the summer. Last year, Cook facilitated the installation of a laundry room at the school that students can use for free, since students say they sometimes skip school because they were scared of being teased for wearing dirty clothes. So think of all these things that he's doing, how cool these things are. And I just want to bring everyone's attention to this, because I think this could start a trend. I think this is something that could be done in other places, in other major cities, in all major areas, even in the suburbs. I mean, come on, opening the school up and providing hot meals in the evening, places to dance, places to play games, doing laundry. I mean, this is great stuff. This is extremely great stuff. So, in an interview with CBS News, Principal Cook said, everyone wants the high test scores. Everyone wants them to perform well. But if the kid doesn't feel confidence in just coming to school and being that person we know they can be, then what are we doing? And I think that's a great quote. And my hat's off. I mean, this could easily qualify as another everyday hero in our Honor Thy Heroes segment. And maybe, you know what, maybe we will, this will be the runner-up, to that. Wait a minute now. I'm looking at my papers here. Oh my God. Folks, I'm looking at my papers here. And this is the everyday hero. This is the Honor Thy Heroes segment. I'm such a buffoon. I'm not in my regular studio. I am totally discombobulated. And this actually is. Principal Cook, you are the hero. You are the hero in Honor Thy Heroes on the Joel Michalec Show. This is the Honor Thy Heroes segment. I can't believe I presented this as an extra piece. The extra piece is going to come up next, I suppose. This whole segment's out of sorts now. I feel like my world is spinning around. So, yes, this is actually the Honor Thy Heroes segment. So, West Side High School in Newark, New Jersey, and Principal Cook, the heroes. And I would hope that somehow what he's doing, gets pushed out there. You know, this needs to be something that's done everywhere. And like I said, it doesn't have to be big cities. It doesn't have to be potentially dangerous cities. This can be anywhere. Because the problem with the single family units, or maybe it is a two-parent system, but the work schedules are horrendous. This is something that just is something that could be put into place anywhere to give children a place to build that confidence, to feel better about themselves, and to have something to do other than being out on the streets. So, Principal Cook, we applaud you here at the Joel Michalec Show, and congratulations, because you are our hero in Honor Thy Heroes, one of our everyday heroes. Like we said, we're going to start branching out beyond emergency personnel, law enforcement, and things like that. First responders. We wanted to go into society and find heroes everywhere, and this is a perfect example of a hero in society that you would think would never. No one's thinking of him as a hero. I am. I will push that out there all over our social media. But other people don't think of him like that. Sure, the people that read this story or heard this story or saw this story, they think it's a great thing, and it is. But he deserves more than that. And this kind of program deserves more steam than just in Newark, New Jersey. And he's our everyday hero. And Honor Thy Heroes. Thank you very much, Principal Cook. So I'm adjusting. It's I don't have a chair. I'm actually sitting on a bed. I should be saying to you, I'm so comfortable, but it's not exactly the lap of comfort. You know, my feet barely touch the floor. So anyway, you don't want to hear about my problems. We'll move on. So before we get to the Wombat of the week, which will end up being the last thing here in the home stretch, I want to talk about this interesting thing. This was supposed to be my one other thing item. I'm working on all kinds of different things. And if you notice in a couple shows, instead of just trying to flood an entire segment with two things, I've been trying to add another angle into the home stretch to give it variety. And I was thinking, what could I call that? I have Honor Thy Heroes. I have Wombat of the Week. Let's call this One Other Thing. Do you like it? I like it. Let me know on Facebook if you like it. If it has that ring? One Other Thing. So here's one other thing for you. I'm not sure if you heard about this, but ABC has tapped Woody Harrelson, Jamie Foxx, and more stars to create episodes of All in the Family and The Jeffersons. Now, if you're old enough to remember these iconic sitcoms of the 70s, then bravo to you. You had a great childhood. These are really good shows, and ABC is staging a one-night-only revivals of both All in the Family and The Jeffersons. Jimmy Kimmel announced this during his show a couple weeks back. And so on Wednesday, May 22nd at 8 o'clock, and this is coming up fast, so I have to make sure I program my TV, Woody Harrelson and Marissa Tomei will play Archie and Edith Bunker, who was originally played by Carol O'Connor and Gene Stapleton. Now, Ellie Kemper will play Gloria, who was originally played by Sally Struthers. In the Jeffersons portion of this special feature, check this out, Jamie Foxx and Wanda Sykes will play George and Louise Jefferson. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine Wanda Sykes as Louise Jefferson? I can't imagine a better pair. These two were originally played by Sherman Hemsley and Isabel Sanford. Will Ferrell will play Tom Willis, who was played by Franklin Cover, and there's just all these other great people involved. Plus, look at your executive producers: Brent Miller, Will Ferrell, Adam McKay, Justin Theroux. Okay, plus Norman Lear, the original creator of the show, he's involved. He is involved. He's invested in this, which is really, really cool. So one of the things that's interesting about this whole scenario, though, is it's always been said, and you may or may not have seen this a lot over the years on social media. You'll see screenshots and memes with Archie Bunker or Archie and Edith on it, and people always depict how the show a scene might happen today. See, the thing is, they attacked, not attacked, but they made fun of so many different things, back then. And people say they wouldn't work today because they attacked racism and politics and drugs and alcohol and bullying. I mean, they did it all. And so you'll hear people say today, well, that show wouldn't work today. You can't talk about that today, because everybody gets butt hurt. Too many people get hurt over the stupidest things. Okay? You're not making society better by complaining about everything. You don't make society better by complaining about something somebody said on Facebook because you didn't like it. You're making society worse. There's a very true meme out there on Facebook. I just saw it last week before I saw this story. It was actually a screenshot of Archie Bunker and Jefferson. And they were like kind of standing together and laughing. And the meme said something to the effect of, remember back when we could make fun of each other and nobody got hurt. And that's what they did. They made fun of each other. They made fun of politicians. They made fun of, black people, white people, Chinese people, Mexican people. They made fun of everybody. And you know what? It was all right. It was funny. But that's why this is really interesting that they're doing this. Very interesting. Norman Lear said in a statement that I cannot wait to see what these glorious performers make in our time of these indelible characters, and I couldn't be more grateful for Jimmy Kimmel, Sony, and NBC for their collective willingness to conceive and pursue this never-been-done-before event. And so I'm with you, Norman Lear. I cannot wait to see what these great actors and actresses do with this. And listen, if they stay true to the show and you're the type of person that gets offended by anything, I mean, if you wake up in the morning and you're offended already by something, you should probably not watch this. Find something else to watch on May 22nd. Okay, but I don't want to hear harping about it the next morning. I don't know what they're going to do. It's a live event. All I'm saying is, let them go. And it will be interesting to see. So I will be setting my DVR for May 22nd on ABC because I will definitely have this DVR'd. Excuse me. You know what else I don't have in the Beach One studio? I don't have anything to drink with me. So you're getting my best, folks. Okay, so moving on to our last piece, which is Wombat of the Week. Now, I also, as I said in the last segment, I don't have any of my paperwork with me. So I'm doing this from memory. But you can get involved in Wombat of the Week. All I need you to do is email us your story of stupid people doing stupid things and send it to wombat@joelmichalec.com. Or you can send it to joelmichalecradio@gmail.com. Or send it to us on Facebook. And we'll make sure it's reviewed to be put on a show. I told you I had a whopper this week. I was not lying. So here you go. From Vineland, New Jersey. A lot of stuff, a lot of local stuff here. New Jersey. Two stories tonight from New Jersey. A man who killed his wife and her infant after he says the woman belittled his manhood has been sentenced to life in prison. That's right. That's right. Ricardo Carrillo Santiago, 37 years old, was found guilty in January of 2 counts of first-degree murder and second-degree unlawful disposal of human remains after his wife apparently made fun of his penis size. How's about that? and he tried to dispose of the bodies. The Superior Court judge on Friday handed down 2 life sentences without the chance of parole for the murder charges and 10 years for the second-degree charge. The Millville man will serve a sentence in a maximum security state prison. So that's 2 life sentences plus 10 years. He's at 37 years old. He will not get out of jail. The parole is off the table. And prosecutors say Carrillo Santiago strangled Nadia Ramirez and suffocated her 3-month-old child, Genesis Ramirez, at their Vineland apartment, then dumped the bodies at a Cumberland game preserve in Fairfield. Ramirez's family reported her and the baby missing on December 1st, 2015. The couple who had a child together were estranged, and the woman had obtained a restraining order against Carrillo Santiago. The order had expired before the slayings. Very sad. Very sad. But here's the point. I want to make a separate point. What is it with men hung up on their penis size? I mean, who really cares, right? Obviously, this guy did, and obviously some people do. But I don't get it. I never got it. I never will get it. You have what you have. You use it the same way. What's the old saying? It's not the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean. I mean, come on, man. Come on. You got to get over yourselves. I all my life, I have no idea what, the whole the thing about that is. That's what you were born with. That's what your mama made you, or whatever, all the different sayings. You just have to deal with it. You just have to deal with it. That's what you have. And apparently, I mean, this is really going too far. Maybe, well, I don't know. I was going to say maybe she shouldn't have said what she said, but I don't know. If they were having an argument, people say things in the heat of an argument, right? Doesn't matter though. Again, he took amazing offense to it. Offense so bad that he strangled her and then smothered the child. You got to get over yourself. And what's that? What does that have for you? 37 years old. Life's over, buddy. If you make it, life's over. And one thing's for sure, when you get to prison, you're going to find out that the size of the boat doesn't matter. So, your ocean's going to have all kinds of motion. But anyway, your life's over. That's what you did. That's what you got. Life's over. For what? For being hung up on the size of your junk. Who cares? So anyway, Mr. Carrillo Santiago gets the title. Not only is he going to prison for 2 life terms plus 10 years, he gets the privilege of being the Wombat of the Week this week. Idiot. So anyway, listen, I hope you enjoyed this show. I hope that you're not too bothered by the noises in the first 2 segments. We're working on this. It's a work in progress. So thanks a lot. Remember the website, jmtalk.net. Go there, subscribe. Don't miss an episode. New episodes drop every Sunday. Subscribe to the show. If you can't get enough of us in between from week to week, you have the 24/7 stream available right there on the webpage. And you can also check out the blog, and there's actually a player on the front page. You can listen to the most current show. So we have it all worked out for you, one way or the other. It's all right there at jmtalk.net. In the meantime, I'm asking everybody, please be good. Be good to yourselves. Be good to others. Pick up 3 pieces of trash when you're at the beach or the park or out and about having fun. Pick up 3 pieces of trash and throw it out. And for God's sakes, it doesn't matter how big your penis is. Broadcasting from the beach, I'm Joel Michalec for The Joel Michalec Show. We'll catch you next time on the podcast. Goodbye.